Out Records.
What's up, my people? I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. I'm your host, SG. Welcome to Chill Out Records, man. It is Saturday, my dudes. Starting a bit early, 2 minutes early, but it's all good. I hope you guys like the new dress code. Today I just wanted to be a bit more professional and talk a little bit about career. For those of you that are joining in, I really do appreciate all the support. I have hit 250 something subscribers. Man, all of you guys are amazing. I really do appreciate all the love, all the support. Just really pushing the channel, trying to just give you guys some quality content. Share some crazy memes, speak in Swahili because I'm a professional Kiswahili speaker. I told you guys from the beginning, you got to trust me, on that. So here today we're going to be talking about the 8 lies that you were told about building your career. I mean, everyone has gone through a phase where people have told them lies upon lies, tried to sway them from their goals and objectives in life. And so I'm going to just talk about the main I guess you can say the strong 8 lies that people have been told during their career that have really led them into a crappy career path, I guess you can say. So I'm just going to jump right into it. I'm not going to like beat around the bush, whatever. Oh, like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, whatever, man. If you want to do it, it's all good. I really do appreciate it. All right, let's just jump right into it. So the first one is obviously you shouldn't apply to jobs that you don't qualify for. That is one of the biggest lies ever. Like first of all, you already know that getting a job out there is not an easy task. There's a lot of prep work that's involved. You got to make your CV look good. You got to make yourself look presentable, when you show up to interviews. So that applying doesn't really guarantee that you're going to get the position. So why wouldn't you apply for more positions? If you know that you hit at least 50 to 80% of the job description. First of all, a job description is like a freaking wish list. A company that's approaching, that has posted out a job and they're saying that they want you to have 5 years of experience. They need you to have a bachelor's degree. They need you to have experience in like maybe sending 50 emails in a day or something like that, whatever, some crazy, that's a wish list. That's what the company would want you to have. But it's not necessarily that you have to have that. It's about how you present yourself, how you communicate with your interviewer. Look at the company culture. These are the kind of things that you need to really focus on. So if you hit at least 50 to 80% of the requirements of that job, just apply for that job. I mean, what's the worst that can happen, right? They will say no. That's the worst that can happen. So why wouldn't you just apply for the job? So just go for it. Cast your net. Like, okay, think of it like this, right? There are very few fishes in the sea, which is not the case. But let's say they are. Very few fishes in the sea. Wouldn't you cast a wider net to increase your chances of catching a fish? It's the same thing with the job applications. Just apply. There's nothing stopping you from applying. As long as you meet more than 50% of what they're asking you to do, just apply. So don't let anyone tell you, oh, you shouldn't apply to jobs that you don't qualify for. Okay, so that's the first one. Right, number 2, your work will speak for you. Doing good work will just give you more work. Now, that sounds a bit weird, isn't it? But let me try and break this down a little bit more. So you get employed, you start working, you're doing a 9 to 5 and everything, you're listening to your boss. And let's say you work on a ticket-based kind of a system whereby they give you a couple of tickets or tasks to do, and you do these tasks. And let's say in a day you do 2 tasks. Now, if you consecutively work very hard and every day you're able to complete both your tasks, your line manager and your company is going to look at you and be like, oh, this guy can actually do 2 tasks. Why don't we just give him 3? Because at the end of the day, the company is just looking for a way to make you work as much as possible, efficiently as possible, of course, but as much as possible so that they can just maximize out of you. So you have to look at it like, if I just do my work very well, they're just going to give me more work, right? A company is never going to recognize all the hard work that you've put in, and unless you talk to them and tell them at the end of the year when it's time for your appraisal, like, hey, look at all the hard work that I've put in. You guys need to, bump up my salary or something. Sometimes most companies, what they do is when they see that you're working very hard, they'll sneak in small tasks for you to do. And it just builds up over time. And when 1 year down the line, you look at yourself and you look at what your initial contract and your job description was and what it is right now and how much work that you're doing right now, it doesn't even, it doesn't match up. They increment the amount of work that you need to do every couple of weeks. When your line manager is monitoring the amount of work that you're doing, and he's like, oh, he's actually able to finish all the work in time, might as well just give him more work. So doing good work will just give you more work. So you wouldn't get that raise at the end of the year by just doing good work. Don't sit back and think that you will get promoted just because you worked hard. Yeah. I feel like if you want to grow in your career, you need to be able to influence people. And I think that is like such an important, it actually dawned on me very later on in life. And I'm pretty sure most of you have worked for companies where your line manager or someone above you is in a senior position. You expect this person to be very smart and knowledgeable in his field, but he just ends up being a very, he's not very smart, but when he talks and when he communicates and, and tries to rally people up, he's able to influence people. So it's not really about what like in terms of like the technical know-how. You could be very smart technically, but if you're not able to articulate your thoughts and influence people around you and transfer that knowledge and your thoughts and your perception of the world into someone else's mind, you're not going to progress in your career. And I learned that really later on in my career, and I wish I learned that earlier. It's more important to be able to form relationships, influence people, I guess maybe lead people. That I feel is more important rather than knowing your skill set. I mean, knowing your skill set is good. You can be very good and knowledgeable in your field. But if you're not able to communicate, influence people, Steve Jobs and Wozniak is a perfect example of this this analogy. It's like, Wozniak was the programmer who built Apple software. Steve Jobs was just the I guess you can say the poster, the salesperson. He just went out there and did a lot of talking and pitching. He was the one who marketed Apple. He wasn't the guy who actually coded it. The same thing with Bill Gates. It's the same thing. So it's more about how do you influence people. So never ever feel that, oh, I'm going to work very hard and people are going to notice the hard work that I put in. Yeah, that's never the case. Okay, so that's number 2. That your work will speak for itself. That's a lie. All right, number 3. You deserve an annual raise. I have worked for a lot of companies. After a year, you feel like, man, I've been here for a year. Inflation has gone up. Things are just getting so pricey. Why am I still on the same salary? Don't expect them to give you a raise. Don't sit back and wait for your company to email you or contact you and say, hey, you've really worked very hard. Wow, we need to bump up your. And never in the 14 years of my career have I ever someone contacted, my employer contacted me and said, hey, you've done a really good job. We should give you a raise. You need to fight for your raise. Don't ever feel like you deserve something. You need to earn it. And here's the other thing. And this is something that I wish I learned earlier was When you ask for a raise, when you ask for an annual raise, you need to go in prepared, because you can't start a fight and then you're not prepared to fight. You have to remember, HR, the company, they're always looking at their bottom line. They're always looking at a way to save money. That's HR's job. HR is there to protect the company. They're not there to protect you. So you have to remember that when you ask for a raise, you need to justify why they need to give you a raise. You can't just walk in and be like, yeah, I need to be bumped up like 50%. No, you need to walk in, and every time that you do something good, you need to first record. Let's say you've worked for a company for a year. You need to record everything that you've done for the company that has impacted the company, that has made the company profits, or smoothed out some certain process, some value that you've brought into the company that no other employee has done. That's the first thing that you need to recognize. If you're not even able to recognize that, then you need to ask yourself, what am I really, is there any impact that I'm bringing into this company, right? If you're learning a lot, then that's something different, right? You're taking from the, you're not giving back. That's a different thing. But if you're able to make an impact, jot it down, record it, write it down in your own journal. Because let me tell you something, your employer, your line manager, whatever, they're not gonna write down, oh wow, Asim did 3 things today and he did them so efficiently and perfectly, let me write it down. No, in fact, what the company normally does is they'll just give you a pat on the back, or they'll buy you an extra pizza, or they'll tell you, you know what, Friday can be an off. You don't come in on work on Friday. No, screw that. You need to write this stuff down. You need to put it down and say, you know what, I'm going to keep my own personal record of all the good things that I've done in this company, that I've made an impact. And when the time is right, and I now initiate that fight, when I start that gunfight, you don't want to show up to a gunfight with a knife. You want to come there guns blazing with your, you've got everything. You've got your ammunition, I guess you can say. You're coming in, you've said, look, I raised profits. I, increased something. I did, I built a pipeline or something. I built this app. It has been stable. It's got a 5-star rating on the Play Store, stuff like that. When you have all of that written down and you just throw it at the company, then they're like, okay, you know what? I can't even argue with this. So you need to be prepared. Always write down all the good stuff that you've done for the company when you walk into that meeting, that appraisal meeting. Because most of the people that I've interacted with, they always say that in order for me to get an appraisal, I need to threaten the company and tell them that I'm leaving, or I need to have an offer from another company in order for me to get a raise. That's not really the case. If you love the company, you've really put in a lot of work and effort to be to work in the company, and you love the culture, you love what the product is, you love what the company is doing for the environment, or whatever it is that you like, or you just love your specific tasks that you're doing, then you need to fight for it, and you need to value yourself. That, okay, with time, things are getting expensive, cost of living is going up, inflation is always rising. Things are never going to be the same price that they were last year. Things are always changing. So you need to have a dynamic kind of a salary package whereby they're also compensating you, not only just for paying your bills and everything, but also to appreciate you for the hard work that you put in and the impact that you made in the company. Damn, I think I'm on a roll today. So yeah, so think about all of these things. All right. Was there anything else I wanted to say? Yes, I think that was, so never ever feel like you deserve an annual raise. You have to fight for one. You have to fight for one. Okay. Number 4, loyalty is rewarded. Companies always do best for what is their bottom line. You don't get a trophy for sacrificing your well-being for staying at a company. Remember, your well-being, your physical health, your mental health, that is more important than being loyal to a company. Because you have to remember, and I don't know if you guys were watching the news, like large tech companies the other day were just letting go of employees left, right, and center. 10,000. Google just let go of 10,000 employees. Facebook let go of like 13,000 employees, just like that. And you have to ask yourself, like, they can just let me go like this, right? So I need to take care of my health. I need to take care of my mental well-being. If something's not working out in the company, if you feel like there's too much stress, too much pressure, just walk away. You don't need to put yourself through all of that, right? Of course, there has to be some valid reason as to the way they're treating you that's justified for you to leave, you know. Yeah, that's how I kind of look at that. So don't ever feel like loyalty is rewarded. It's not really rewarded all the time, because at the end of the day, companies are always looking out for their bottom line. If they can hire someone who's going to work more efficiently, effectively, and is cheaper, they would definitely hire that person compared to you. You know, and when I guess you can say when shit hits the fan, they will let you go. You know, don't ever feel like it's a family. Oh, this is my family. Oh, no, it's a business. It's nothing personal. It's just business. When they have to let you go, they will let you go, and they will just do it so swiftly. They will do it like it's very heartless. There was a video that was going viral around. I wish I had uh, saved that link. I could have shared it with you guys. You know, this lady was just recording herself on TikTok. Oh yeah, because it's on TikTok, that's why I don't have it. Um, so yeah, she just recorded herself getting fired, and she had worked for the company for like 8 years. Was it 8 or 4 years? I can't remember, but a substantial amount of years. And the way they let her go was very scary. It was something that it just puts you into perspective. Like, this is not a family. It's a business. You are in a team. You're just grouped together with a team of people that can work efficiently and produce a product or a service. Remember that you are just a battery. You're just a battery cell that is inside a machine that is working. You know, they can easily just replace that battery with a new one. So you go there, you do your best, you do the task that's at hand, whatever the job requirements are. You do your job, and you hit the door, man. That's how I kind of look at it, man. This is not your family, right? Number 5, job hopping will hurt your career growth. A lot of people say, oh no, you need to stick with the company for 5-10 years. Those days are long gone. In fact, job hopping has really helped a lot of people. In fact, personally, I can vouch for job hopping. Well, to a certain extent, of course. It all comes down to you, what kind of a career you want to have, what kind of a lifestyle you want to have. What are you trying to achieve? Is it personal career growth? If you're in a company and you're not learning a lot, you have to look at it from your perspective. You have to be a bit selfish. A lot of people, when they join a company, they give it 100%, and they go all in, and they put their heart and soul into it. They treat it like a family, and then bad things happen. The company is not making enough revenue. They just let you go like this, and you wonder what the hell just happened, right? So you have to be a bit selfish. You have to ask yourself, okay, I'm working for this company. What can they do for me? Are they helping me in my career? Like, the skills that I'm learning from the people that I'm working for in this company, are these valuable skills that I can go back into the market and actually utilize these? So are they increasing my value? You don't want to be stuck in a company, maybe working as the only developer or the only employee. You're not socializing with a lot of people, and you're not learning a lot. And then 10 years down the line, when they let you go, or you're just fed up with the company and you want to move, when you go back into the market, your skill set and your knowledge is so far behind compared to what the other companies are doing, that no one is willing to hire you. You have to look at it from that perspective as well. Always keeping your CV up to date, because you never know, right? And that brings me obviously to my 6th point. But so, and change is good anyway. There, for all the companies that I've worked for, there have never been any 2 companies that have done the same processes, even if the products that they're building are the same. I've worked for companies that have built ticketing apps. I've worked for companies that have built flight booking apps, restaurant searching apps, health management, health and security, and all that kind of stuff. Doctor-patient stuff, conference calls, and all that kind of stuff. Banking apps as well. So I've done it all. every different company has a different process of the way they manage their employees, the way they do the team building, the way they do their day-to-day work activities. It's very different. Even if the product that you're building or your end solution is kind of similar to other products in competitive companies, it's a different process, and you will learn something new. So change is good. Never ever feel like, oh, if I job hop, I have to now start learning something new. Don't fear change. You need to accept it. It's always good to broaden your circle, broaden, I guess, your comfort zone. So put yourself out there. Yeah, so no two companies I have worked for have done the same, have the same way of doing things, same way of building products or providing services. Yeah, so I think that's the only thing I can say about that. All right, number 6, working for a company means job security. You can't really say that because I have a 9 to 5, I am secure, because maybe you don't even pass probation. Most companies' probation period is like 3 months or 6 months, 6 months sometimes. And when you're in that probation period, you could just be let go in like 2 weeks. They could just give you like a 2-week notice and be just like, okay, I don't think we're a good fit. I don't think we're happy. I have worked for companies where I've seen my line managers just get fired in a day. Forget even like 2 weeks notice or a month notice. You wake up one morning and you find out that, oh, okay, he's not here for the stand-up. What happened? And you get an email like, oh, he was just let go. Yes. So don't ever think that just because you've got a 9 to 5 job, it's job security and that you're stable. Yes, having a paycheck every month is good. It's a nice thing to have, but always think about secondary sources of income, right? The other thing is savings. I can't even stress this enough. You have to remember that risks are inevitable. There is always something that can happen. You could get injured, you could get sick, whatever. At least have 3 months of saving in your bank account. That makes you feel more secure because you've got something to fall back on. If they let you go today, you have 3 months of salary saved up in your bank account. If anything happens, you are sorted for 3 months, and at least in 3 months you could find another job, right? That is security. Just not having a 9 to 5 job and then they pay you, and everything that they pay you, you are, spending it, blowing it, partying. Just because you're making more money doesn't mean that you have to go out there and party and live a lavish life. I'm not saying you don't have to, but put your priorities straight first. Get yourself some savings. Invest your money if it's in property, buy some property, whatever, buy some land, put your money into something that you can liquidate in the event that something bad happens and that, you need it during that emergency period. So don't ever just have that mentality that, oh, because I have a job, I'm safe. No, you need to still have secondary sources of income, investments and savings. Okay. I'll give you a perfect example, right? For myself, I do a lot of side projects. I do a lot of projects for other companies as well, or also certain individuals. I do software solutions for them as well, and these are just temporary, secondary hustles, I guess you can say. And it's not bad as long as it's not affecting your 9 to 5, as long as it's not interfering with your main source of income. It's perfectly okay. You need to have an open mindset. There's so many different ways that you can make money. I mean, you've got Rumble, you've got YouTube, you've got Fiverr. Fiverr allows you to just create an account and just have your services up for anyone who wants to, have a small service out of you. For instance, you could be like a voice actor, you could be a writer, you could be a video editor, anything. Just think of it and it's there on Fiverr. So open an account. Nothing's stopping you from opening an account. I'm thinking of also opening so I've already got Rumble. So my Rumble channel is already monetized. I'm making money off of Rumble. YouTube has a lot of restrictions and prerequisites before I can actually make money off YouTube. But it's something that I'm doing anyway. But I'm not really doing it for the money. That's a different thing. But Fiverr is already there. So I've got my Fiverr account. In fact, I did a couple of sales on Fiverr where I did some voice acting, vocal, what is it called? I can't remember the term, but I did some voice related work, and they paid me some money. So it's, you've already got secondary sources of income, other things that you're doing. Now the next thing I'm thinking about doing is opening a Amazon sellers account, and I'm thinking of selling Chill Out Record branded t-shirts, Chill Out Record branded cups and mugs and all that kind of stuff. So that's something that I'm thinking about doing. There is like so many things that you could do to have secondary sources of income. So don't limit yourself, and just because you've got a 9 to 5, that should be the only thing that you do. Okay. Number 7, you might lose the job offer if you negotiate. That is a massive lie. Don't ever let anyone tell you that you shouldn't negotiate. First of all, you need to know your value. You need to know, what am I worth? What am I bringing onto the table? What are my values? What can I provide to this company? Do they like me? Maybe after the interview, they really like you and they just immediately just give you the offer. Look at that offer. Look at how much salary that they're offering you, and ask yourself, is this what the market is offering? Right? If you're not even comfortable with it, it also depends on, where are you staying? Are you going to be commuting to work? How many people are you going to be working under or working with? How many tasks or objectives do you need to accomplish in a day? If you're a salesperson, what's my sales target? You have to ask all these questions. Most of the people don't even think about the commute, and there's so many other factors that could factor into your expense and your cost of living and everything. Maybe the job is not it's not a remote job, and maybe you need to be on site, and maybe you need to move physically to that location. Maybe the cost of living in that area is more than what you're currently paying, so maybe the rent over there is going to be higher. Maybe the cost of food and fuel is going to be higher in that area, and you don't consider that. Maybe you just look at the salary and be like, oh, this is actually more money than what I'm currently making. I need to go there. And you just accept the offer, and you don't even ask them. You don't even negotiate. You don't even put your foot forward and say like, okay, is there some wiggle room? 9 times out of 10, when a company gives you an offer, they have a range that they are willing to play with, right? Let's say they're offering between 50 and 80,000, and they give you an offer of 70,000. Now, if you do not ask, and if you don't say, hey, can you make it 80? And if they really like you and they want to keep you, they will bump it up. But if you don't even ask them, if you don't even build that courage and say, you know what, let me just ask, because you fear that they might say no, or they might take back the offer, which actually they cannot, because once a company gives out an offer, then that's an official contract agreement. Your job is just to sign it once you agree on the terms. But yeah, I mean, you need to negotiate, at least put your foot forward. It also gives a good impression, because they see that this person is not always agreeable. He's kind of a little bit like he knows what he wants, or she. So yeah, put your foot forward and be like, you know what, put your foot down, I guess you can say, and just lay down the law and say, you know what, this is what I'm worth. This is what I want you to give me. This is what I want you to pay me, if you want me to come and work for you. Okay. I guess the eighth and the final lie. Quitting is a sign of weakness. I've told a lot of people that I quit a job, and they look at me like I am weak or I am lazy. Not really. You have to remember that there are certain jobs that you might not be able to pick up their toxic relationship, their toxicity, I guess you can say, during the interview process. You won't be able to really know what this company is like until you work for them. And I guess that's why you have the probation period, because you also have to evaluate what kind of a culture am I getting into? Imagine you do an interview that lasts maybe 1 hour, 30 minutes, and within that time you need to decide if you're going to spend the rest of your life with these people and this culture and this product. And it's not enough time for you to decide, you know? You until you start working with these people and you start looking at the company culture, it's when you realize this isn't for me. Don't be afraid to quit. If you feel that your mental and your physical health is deteriorating every second you are at that job, you need to look out for your health first. Your health, your well-being needs to be a higher priority, because they're not going to be looking out for you like that. The company is not going to be looking out for your mental well-being. Of course they say, oh, we'll do all the team building and we'll give you all these benefits, but it's about your mental well-being, your health. Health, especially in terms of, if you're sitting constantly sitting in front of a computer and working, you have to look at your lower back, you have to look at your eye strain, all of these factors. You need to take this into consideration. Are they respecting the fact that you need a break, you need time away from your screen, or you need time away from your chair? They can't be constantly pressuring you. I've worked for a lot of companies that have just constantly left you in this panicked state, and there's only so much the mind can take. It's not healthy. It really affects your social life, your personal life. So you need to look at the company culture, look at the kind of work-life balance you have with this company. If it's not something that you like, you need to quit. So there is more than one path to life. If you want to live, if you want to live and the career if you want to live and the career that you want to have, there are multiple paths. So it's up to you to know when to quit, know when to say no, and just and move on. All right, one last picture. I guess I really liked this picture here. I want to share this with you guys. I think this is an amazing picture. No matter how good you are, if you are in a wrong place, you are worthless. And that is a perfect example right there, that Lamborghini sitting there, completely useless, worthless. No one really cares about it. And you can look at yourself as that person in the wrong company, in the wrong company, that they do not value you, they do not respect you. You will be treated like crap. So recognizing that and knowing when to leave is very important. Okay, I think I've spoken enough. Those are the 8 lies that you were told about your career. I hope you liked that. Let's just share a few more memes before I call it a day. A very important saying by Mahatma Gandhi, right? Oh man, these memes are just crazy, man. I had to share these. So of course, here's a Kiswahili meme. I told you guys from day one, I am a professional Kiswahili speaker. I've been a lot of people, when they hear me speak Swahili, they're just like, man, mwah, this guy is amazing. So so here her friends are like, sa unapenda Jeremy nini na hana pesa, and she's like, acha tu ni hamwezi elewa. So her friends are like, why do you like Jeremy so much? And he doesn't even have any money. And then she's like, just leave it, guys, you'll never understand. We all know from the picture what's going on here. All right, look at this one. Oh yeah, Valentine's is coming up next. Is it next week? Let me just double check, man. It's next to next weekend. All right, Valentine's. All right, so so here's another one in Kiswahili. Kumbuke hii salary ndio inafaa kununua maua. So basically, remember, guys, that the salary that you just received at the end of January is supposed to be used to buy flowers. Okay, so remember that, guys. Don't forget it. Okay. One last one. Hii wiki tuna ingia inaitwa I thought you loved me. The week that we're getting into is called I thought you loved me. All right, guys, I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for checking out the channel. I really do appreciate it, guys. I hope you like the suit. Today I kind of did it without the glasses on. Try to look a little bit more professional because, we were talking about career stuff, so had to look sharp. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for checking out the channel, and I will see you guys next weekend. Peace.
Chill Out Records.